How'd you start rapping?
My cousins, my big cousins.
What do you mean?
Their favorite rappers was 50 Cent. Inspired them to start rapping. I was inspired by them. I started rapping.
And y'all just...
It's that simple. Like, I just grew up in a black-ass neighborhood. It's like it's music everywhere. It's hard not to be inspired by music.
Nashville, Cashville, where you at? Where you at? We out east in the studio with one of Nashville's finest. That's right. This ain't a podcast. This ain't a freestyle. This is 16 for the city. You are now entering the museum of presence with Reaux Marquez.
You a little nigga to me. I see the devil in your eyes, huh? It's gonna take for you to die, for you to rise up. The bigger man is rarely still enough to size up. I've been on the move, bitch, like I-65. The levels of my fire sign rising with the tides, cause transparency is just a wave that I provide. I'm too safe to say my grace, so present with my God. Probably getting on his nerves, how I always stand beside him. I see niggas say never, I heard women say never. When you think it can't be you, just know you next on the schedule. The world zipping, Grey Goose, the values cover my spectrum. I recognize the times as I recollect them. Family estates and touching M's I can never 4 bars ago I mentioned how that's gon' leverage They feeling safe with a mask. Last time I checked they was scared of us. The human race in last place, only errors ahead of us. The terror of the messenger, so you can die too. Stretch them then they bless them more than ugly kids and I choose. We grew up in it to finish my haiku. I know a nigga 6'4", he been 5'2" since 5'2". Church. I know a nigga 6'4", he been 5'2" since 5'2". Yeah, that's inner city church. So next time you get the word, know it started with a verse. Body should drop in the street when God throw his hood up. I'm on Jefferson Street Bridge right now, nigga, pull up on me. Your spirit said where you would think drink was spilled here. Your spirit said where you would think niggas killed here. I know the history of my city is bittersweet. I don't know who my pops would be if I wasn't me. Shit, I don't know who my son would be if I wasn't a freak. Shit get deep as graves, cross my peace with a piece. The powers that be. Birth control couldn't stop it, probably why he hard-headed. Niggas think I'm an addict, how I keep it a bean. Itching for peace, family still scratching lottos and shit. The Ivy League. That's all I got.
Man, Blessings King, I love it. Yes, whoa, yes.
It's that time.
Man, that's so beautiful, man. Thank you for blessing us.
I appreciate you blessing the boys with the beat.
Man, hey, I appreciate that, man.
I didn't even know you produced.
I was making beats in college, but I haven't really made beats. I'm so glad that y'all blessed the music with your presence.
Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, look, you still got some time for you just chop it up just for a couple seconds before. I know you've been working all day.
Yeah, for sure. I got time.
Okay. Let me pause it right here. This is Shabazz Larkin from the Museum of Presence, and this is 16 for the City. If you came to hear the verse of Reaux Marquez and that was it, stop this recording. Don't listen any further. This conversation is like the Seinfeld of all of the episodes of the Museum of Presence. Me and Reaux sort of talk about everything from Nashville to the TSU parade to fatherhood. It's literally happening at 12:30 at night. Listening back to this recording, I'm realizing I was sort of delirious, but I also thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. So if you just wanted to hear raps, stop the recording. But if you want to learn a little bit more about Reaux Marquez, then please stick around and enjoy the conversation. You're now entering the Museum of Presence. First of all, let me just explain to the people who you're listening to. We're talking to one of Nashville's finest, Reaux Marquez, a beautiful, amazing artist here in Nashville, is really taking the mantle for hip hop in the South. Man, I'm just so grateful for you to be coming to sit with me here today for the Museum of Presence. Thank you for being here.
Likewise.
Yeah, welcome to the moment, brother.
I was just selling flowers. It's probably like the last rehearsal before the first leg of the tour. I was talking about your name came up. I was like, bro, Shabazz just being his. He like he just a floating, you know what I'm saying? He just like his own entity. Like this shit was crazy.
Man.
Like I ain't never met nobody like you before.
Man, I appreciate that,
You
King.
be in like your own world and you don't leave that motherfucker. And I love that.
Man, let me just take a pause with you for a second, Ro. Because I just need to take in what just happened. For those of you that don't know, Ro walked in here 5 minutes ago, wrote a verse, and then just fit the verse, did the verse. That's beautiful. Is that just how you like to work? What's your process usually look like?
Bro, I make so many beats. At a time, I was probably making like 5 to 10 beats a day. And I just write to all of them. But sometimes I never hit a beat. Like I got so many files, if I lose it, I just be like, fuck it. I never hit a beat again, but the notes of my raps is all on my phone. So I just memorize them or just keep them tucked for this type of shit and just add to it. Manipulate the concept however I need to.
Shit.
But I used to write. When I did my album No Rose, that was the first time I didn't turn my musicality on until I stepped my first foot in the studio.
And why is that? Why? Where does that come from?
It was a lot going on. I really ain't have time to sit at home and like think about what I wanted to rap about. But when I heard the music, because I did most of the drums on No Rose. So after I did the drums, I stepped back. I got homies that play keys, bass, guitar, all that. So I just let them take over. And then, yeah, once that happened, I'm just... But God telling me what to write at that point. I ain't even got to think for it.
Hold on, so you start with the drums?
Yeah, got to. Real African child. My mind don't click until I hear some crazy drums.
Man, it's beautiful. This music as a spiritual art form. Music has this way, black music specifically, has this way to ground you to your present moment. There's all these like practices, these spiritual practices that people do to bring you here, you know. But hip-hop music isn't often thought about like that. But unless you go to hip-hop concerts, unless you actually like listen to and participate in hip-hop culture, you know that the more that you invest into the slow down, listen to what's being said, but stop listening to what's being said and then feel what's happening, it's spiritual. Do you think about this? It's part of the experience.
It's funny. Well, it's not funny. Like it's been like to the front of my mind that you saying like that the drums is the grounding part of the music. Cause it's like that's literally the grounding parts of the music. That's why they put the sub on the floor. That's the first thing. It takes so much for you to feel at 808 if your feet not on the ground. But if you on the same level as the sub, whatever that's at, you gonna feel that knock. You gonna feel it through your whole body. Kanye was talking about this shit with 808s and Heartbreaks. Every key he was in, he did every song intentionally in a specific key that'll make you feel a certain way.
And you have this attention into what you're creating.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this painting in the room for this conversation, and I'll just describe it. It's an image of two figures dancing and on an obscure Jefferson Street.
In tune.
But what's interesting for me is that they're dancing on what looks like a meditation mat or a prayer mat. And so it's like the music, the experience, there's like worship happening or something spiritual happening. There's some kind of spiritual connection. I'm just curious, how much is considering like your audience, your listener, when you're creating?
So first, I make music first for myself. After the music is done, I find ways to include the listener. And at my shows, I find ways to include the listener. But the music is always for me. That's why I sit on music so long, because it's like, I know once I press this button, once this shit is out of my possession, it's not mine no more.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's at that point, it's for them. But everything that sparked the initial creativity is always for me and my spirit. And whatever message I feel like I need to get across.
You know, you could write about anything. What inspires you to point your pen in a certain direction? How do you get to the compass for like where to point your pen?
Bro, honestly, it's really, I want to say my experiences, but that's too cliche. So I can say more like, just like the youth, or I say like around the time where a lot of trauma and like triggers form for people my age. It started in a specific age group. And I can just see myself in that and what I've been dealing with since I was the youth, quote unquote, you know what I'm saying? So my target is always tapping into people my age or anybody really, but just tapping into the youthful form, the youthful version of them. And I'm just like speaking directly to the root, so to speak. Like the root of the problem. I like getting to the root. That's why I'm not a person to argue, because it's gonna be emotion versus logic, and I'm just gonna get straight to the point, and then somebody gonna feel what they saying don't matter, because I just went straight to the point. You feel me? Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's one of them type of things. But it's like the times is moving so quick. You gotta find ways to put the medicine in the candy, almost.
Talk about that. What you mean by that?
You know, you know something good for a kid, they don't want it because it's nasty.
Right.
So you gotta mix it with some sugar in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta mix it in, and it's like that's the only way they gonna get the message. And mixing it in might be doing it on the trap beat and still saying what I gotta say, because I know that's the sugar that y'all want. So I might have to do that and feed it to you. If I want to speak to the more spiritual crowd, I get on the real boom bap jazzy style beat and say some ratchet shit. You know what I'm saying? Just to throw the whole everything off.
Exactly.
It's just like offsetting every aspect of the art. So yeah, that should be fun.
It's sort of like an interruption. Sort of.
For sure. Disruption, my main shit. Building and destroy, my favorite thing to do.
I had this experience that made me want to do this interview with you. The theme of this paper, of this exhibition, is "May I be brave enough to speak my truth." So I just feel like talking that shit.
I can see it on your face. You like, you should give me a reason. Let it go on these.
I'm just like curious about, see, I'm not trying to get you in no trouble.
Listen, bro. Trouble only exists in a fearful man's body. It's not too much I fear.
You know what? I've only lived in Nashville for, I moved here in 2017. And I've been searching for what does the hip hop community look like here in Nashville. And I was really excited when it was on the cover of a popular newspaper in town.
That's why you said it.
Yeah, it's cover of a newspaper in town. Okay. And it had like a bunch of people, and I was so excited. I was like, wow, I'm gonna, see what's going on. And then as I started asking around to some friends, they were like, man, there's a lot of people missing from this, and there's some people that don't deserve to be here. Now, I don't want you to say who does deserve to be there. I'm not having that conversation. I'm not trying to get you in trouble out in these streets.
I'm gonna just say this, bro. I know what you asked. I'm gonna just say this. I felt kind of slighted when I pulled up to that photo shoot. And I don't know if you can see it on my face or not, because when I walked through the door, if we doing this type of shoot, right, I should know everybody in this room. If we on the cover together, you saying they put in the type of work that I put in, I'm guessing, right, since we all here in the same space. I ain't know too many people in there. Besides like people I grew up with, people I make music with. But other than that, I didn't know a lot of people in there. And I was just like, it was one of them type of situations where if I brought my little brother with me to that shoot and I said, oh yeah, he a producer, they were like, oh yeah, just.
To me, it highlights the importance of Black people telling our own stories. Is that we understand our culture, and I feel like when other people try to tell our stories and they try to put it, sometimes it goes in the wrong direction. Have you experienced this?
That's definitely what's going on. Like you hitting it right on the head. It's just people seeing like the importance, like they feel as passionately as you describing about these stories that they hearing. And they getting these stories, but they still the writer at the end of the day. They still get to make the front page however they want it to look. They get to design the article however they want it to be interpreted, however you want to say it. And it's, I don't know. And a part of that too, I feel like when we do tell our stories, and I'm saying we because I'm a part of this culture, but like when we do tell our stories to these publications, we start using their vocabulary to speak to them about our experiences. We're like, nah, it needs to be raw. Or it's gonna be a Nashville rapper from East Nashville. Like, no, I'm not trying to hear that bullshit. Like niggas grew up a whole different type of way. And we trying to make it seem like it's just appeasing to the wrong crowd. I don't fuck with that. That's really what it is.
It's a really interesting thing. It's like being us telling our story to other people. This is one of the things that I want to tell our stories to us. I want to tell what our experiences without the gaze of other communities involved. I mean, other communities can gaze, but it doesn't have to be central to the story. I feel like the art in Nashville is a lot of beautiful growing, but a lot of the things that I'm seeing is missing our story. You know, when rock and roll music was born on Jefferson Street with Little Richard, I did the first sculpture that I know about that honors Little Richard last year, but it's in a private space. And I can't figure out how to get how to get funding for public. I don't even know how to be honest. You know, I don't even know how to navigate the system the way that it is. And it's like, it's bizarre because the city gets its name because of black music. But where's the sculpture? Where's it? It's all these guitars and everyone
I'm tired of hearing about that shit. Motherfuckers get to talking about Music City. We ain't even gotta say who, but it's a lot of people out here that hear the name Music City and get, you know what I'm saying, get to talking about history that they not up on.
Okay.
And they just skip the whole Jubilee singers, like the whole, you know, the real reason we call Music City, like they skip that whole thing. They go straight to, oh, it's Music City because it's country Music City. It's like, no, bro, that's not where Music City
What's
came
the story there? What is the story there?
So it started with the Jubilee singers. Queen Elizabeth. She named it Music City because of how they was musical.
That's the story that I heard as well. You know, my hope is this paper is this opportunity to tell our stories to our communities. Reaux and I got to talking about the theme of the newspaper, May I be brave enough to speak my truth. And somehow we stumbled upon this conversation about how hip hop can be this sort of powerful force to speak truth to the world. I thought it would be important to include it in here. After all, it is the 50th anniversary of hip hop.
We wasn't seeing no Black Jesus in church. You feel me? So it was like, yeah, we had our own influences. Hip hop became the biggest influence in the world.
Yeah.
And music is literally changing lives, creating laws, breaking laws down. Like hip hop doing that.
Yeah.
Ain't no other culture doing that.
There's something like I feel like God is in this. You know, it's like the Lord should say, what a paradox that God dropped in the bass. What's she talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? And I'm like, it's the music. I think God is in the music.
Definitely in the music, 100%.
Man, all right, before I let you go, question. I'm just curious, I'm sure you've had some hardships. The Museum of Presence is really about like understanding how we wake up, how we gain consciousness, and how we adapt to the world that's changing around us in ways that's difficult for us. My question for you is, how do you keep surviving? What is it that you do to overcome the adversities that you're experiencing? What do you practice in order to keep going?
I practice patience and trusting myself, trusting my decisions. My biggest thing. Cause it's like going to the gym, like it's cool. You know what I'm saying? You 300 pounds, you wanna lose all this weight. You might go for like 2 weeks. And then you won't see no results. And you stop going. That's not trusting yourself. That's not having patience. That's not trusting your decisions to start going. Like none of that. So just trusting yourself, following through with your plans, having faith, the biggest thing. Like I don't realize, like, growing up, being able to see the other side of the tunnel is a gift. A lot of people can't see past their street. A lot of people can't see past their family. They can't see past their homies, the people around. They can't imagine a world like outside of the ecosystem they operate in. And I didn't realize I got older. It's just like, bro, that's a gift. I only know a few niggas who can actually do that. And they all like my favorite type of people.
Man.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely one of them people. If you're in Nashville from Virginia, you see something. You had to see something, shit, because you over here. You crossed that pond for sure.
It's been a journey, man. Nashville and Virginia are very close together, geographically separate, but very close together with the kind of energy, the kind of movement. The black people here remind me of black people where I'm from.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna have to take a visit to
Norfolk.
Somewhere, anywhere besides Roanoke.
Yeah, don't go to Roanoke.
I fucking hate Roanoke. I only been through
Roanoke?
Listen, bro, we almost went down in Roanoke.
Going
to New York.
Ooh, what happened?
On the way to New York, bro, we get pulled over. And they following us for like 15 minutes before they even pull us over. Like, niggas down there finna go to jail. They got the driver. They trying to say we got drugs in the truck. I'm like, bro, these niggas is tripping. We probably drove for like 30 minutes straight, seeing so many rebel flags and shit.
Yeah, they
I'm like, ain't this the
there.
North? Like, what the fuck y'all doing?
They have them out there. Don't forget, the capital of Confederacy was right there. You know what I'm saying? That's some wild. Yeah, Virginia got some wild backwoods. But my brother, so does Tennessee.
No, for sure.
When I first got here, I got a real introduction. Me and my ladies walking down the street. It was snowing outside. It was Valentine's Day. My lady was looking nice. Her fro was out. She, you know what I'm saying? She had it loose. We were feeling good. We were walking down the street right here out east. And somebody came, snowballed us, and called us niggas and said, get out the neighborhood.
They was in the car or something?
They was in a truck.
Yeah, of course. That's the escape plan. They ain't...
I was like, you know what, it's funny because like nothing in Nashville was like that. Every single person bent over backwards, gave me love, embraced their arms around our family, invited us into their home. But there's something that the universe just had to remind you, like, still Tennessee though. In moments like this, I'm reminded to take the great pause, the great majestic pause. You're sovereign here. Even slower now. Talking about top 5. I know this is, we went there.
I've been waiting for this.
Top 5.
Every time I say my top 5, niggas be tripping.
Okay, top 5. Okay, don't give me nobody dead. Don't give me nobody that's not making music.
Nah, listen.
Who's top 5 making music right now?
Top 5.
Yeah.
In no order.
In no order.
We going Kendrick, of course.
Yes.
We're going Young Nudie.
Young Nudie, okay.
We're going, hear me out. We're going Andre 3000.
Clearly.
We're going 50 Cent.
50 Cent? Oh, shit.
And we're going Kodak Black.
Wow.
That's my top 5.
Wow. Bro, wow. That is spectacular.
I got amazing arguments for each one. And
oh
we
my
can go
gosh,
down that
Kodak
road.
Black?
Easily.
You got like mumble.
Do y'all hear this nigga? What? Y'all
Kodak
crazy. Y'all don't be listening. That's what's going on. Kodak a prophet.
Okay, you know what? Let's just talk about who we agree with, okay? We agree with a couple of these names up there. For obviously Kendrick, okay, but we're not gonna talk about Kendrick because he's clearly like really amazing. Okay, let's talk about Andre 3 Stacks for a second.
For sure. That's damn near a given though. That's like saying Kobe when you talking about basketball.
Listen. Let me tell you. I've sat down with Funk Flex, DJ Envy, all the DJs. I sat them down for something I was doing with Ciroc a long time ago. Sat them down. None of those people that you ain't saying is on that list.
It's like we ain't from New York, so we don't.
True.
50 had.
True.
With G Unit, that was worldwide. That's the only reason 50 on my list.
50.
And he started all that shit, all the crooning, all the singing on the hooks. Like, fuck writing a hook and having a female singer come in. He was singing his own hooks, knowing he couldn't sing. Crooning, killing shit. None of that started till 50 started doing that shit.
True.
21 questions. What? Come on, bro. This nigga couldn't sing for shit.
Yo.
That shit was number one.
So the creativity inspires you.
For sure.
Wow, bro.
For sure.
I would have never suspected.
50.
Somehow our conversation about Ro's top 5 transitioned to speaking about being a parent. It's a pretty hard turn, but it was a great conversation.
I know a lot of people who be like, who always say, oh, they can't have kids because they got too much to do, or they gonna have to stop doing this and stop doing that. It's like, my life I ain't stopped doing nothing. If I got some shit to do and I got my little ones with me, they just coming with me. Like, I ain't never been like, oh, I can't go to this photo shoot because I got the kids. Like, nah, like, they just gonna be at the photo shoot. It's like, I'd be damned if they get my age or in their teens or whatever and be like, oh, I was with my daddy, we ain't do nothing. He was always sitting at the house. It's like, nah, they gonna have stories. Like, we was at photo shoots, we was at studio sessions, we was out playing soccer, we was out, you know what I'm saying? He had us doing push-ups, like, all that shit. Like, they gonna have stories to tell. Like, nah, we wasn't just sitting in the crib. Like, we wasn't on daddy duty. We was just up under his wing while he was living his life.
How's your parenting evolving from your parents' parenting to you?
And my mom was she was real strict. I only saw my pops when I got in trouble. So it's like, you feel me? It was like I was really doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. My mom was she went to work before I went to school, and she got off of work after I got out of school. So I was outside. I was doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do. I was the only child for a long time. I ain't have to listen to nobody. I ain't like authority. I ain't like no type of rules. I had too much free time. I was by myself too much. It was me, my homies, my solitude whenever I wasn't outside. So like, yeah, my kids now, they still in daycare. They always under supervision. It's just different. It's different these days. Like, I wouldn't trust my son outside for 10 minutes by himself.
What's the quintessential childhood memory for you?
I'm gonna go out on there. I'm gonna say the TSU parade. Cause I feel like it's gonna be non-existent. I feel like it's getting smaller and smaller. When I was little, I couldn't wait for that shit.
But tell me about it. What was it like when you were a kid?
Active. Like, we used to be, like, so you got the parade on this whole street, you know what I'm saying? It's going all the way around, whatever.
Going down, does it go down Jefferson?
It go down.
Was it Buchanan? No.
Yeah, it is Jefferson.
Yeah, it's Jefferson, yeah.
It goes straight. First of all, somebody gets shot at the Wendy's every year.
Oh my God.
And since I can remember, somebody died at that Wendy's every TSU parade. So that's the first. When I hear TSU parade, I'm like, oh yeah, somebody finna get shot right there. When I was a kid, we used to play like we used to play football and shit in the grass. We used to be mimicking the drum majors and shit. I can just remember all this shit, just like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody cooking, you don't know nobody. It's like people offering you food, offering you plates, see if you want something to drink. It's just real communal. But it's just shrinking. Yeah, it's shrinking.
But it's so beautiful. It's such a parade. I mean, it's everybody comes out. I love my sons come out and see. It's more than just who's in the parade. It's all the people, all the fashion. You see like what are the young people talking about, what the old people talking about. You know, what are those community organizations, who paid to be in the parade, like people, you get to know what's happening in the community. It's all happening.
It was the music. I couldn't wait.
And the music can't wait.
It just be so quiet. All you hear is like radios from different little cookouts. You hear that loud ass cut. Do you know the band finna start? It's like, oh yeah, it's finna go down. I used to love that shit.
Were you ever in a band?
Nah, I wish.
I was in the band. I went to school called Booker T. Washington High School. Do you know Larry Jenkins?
Yeah, for sure, Pro.
Yeah, he went to a school. He went to a rival school. They were far less of a band than ours, but you know what I'm saying? Like, now that he's at TSU, I'm not gonna talk no smack about him. But I used to play cymbals or like the tom drums, which you don't know, that's like the lowest ranking of drum. Like, I was trusted least because I never get to go to band camp. I would spend my summers in New York, and then I come home and I miss band camp, so nobody would give me a real drum. I just always had to.
That's great.
I had to like the little tom drum, but those are like the best days.
Snare.
Oh, you play snare in band?
The drum line came out here. Yeah, I played snare.
Oh,
everybody plays snare out the drum line came out. You didn't have to be in no band to know how to play snare. When you seen Nick Cannon do all that bullshit, yeah, everybody plays snare.
Oh, snaps. But snare is like,
I wish I was in band though. Because everybody I know in music came from like either a heavy church, like choir, band background, or like was in band in some type of form. I ain't none of that shit. I ain't got no type of musical history in my family.
Well, how'd you start rapping?
My big cousin.
What do you mean?
After 50 Cent. Their favorite rappers was 50 Cent. Inspired them to start rapping. I was inspired by them. I started rapping.
And y'all just...
It's that simple. Like, I just grew up in a black ass neighborhood. It's like, it's music everywhere. It's hard not to be inspired by music.
This has been a special edition of the Museum of Presence, 16 for the City, where we highlight a musician. We're also highlighting Mike Floss, so be sure to pop over and listen to that interview as well. If you enjoyed this, we've got people in Nashville just like you to thank for it, because this is a community-funded social experiment. It was paid for by a grant by Metro Arts Nashville and a contribution from Studio Bank and a bunch of dope people who just jumped in to make this happen. These images for this shoot was shot by Lysander Bryant, one of my favorite artists in the city. If it wasn't so late, I'd thank Tanya Lewis, Evan Brown, Camila Sander, my wife Ashley, my brother, and all those people that played music at the church that I was at when I was a kid. Reaux Marquez, y'all. I'm Shabazz Larkin, and you are now entering the Museum of Presence.